Hello and welcome to this week's Top 5. After having the top 5 best episodes of Star Wars Rebels last week, this week we're going for the top 5 worst episodes of Star Wars Rebels. Now, we're basing these on our reviews of Rebels we put up on the site over the last 6 months or so. That leaves us with a problem. We really liked Rebels. In fact, we rated no single episode at less than 70%. So perhaps rather than the worst episodes of Rebels, we should be calling this list the top 5 not as good as the others episodes of Rebels. That's not as catchy, so worst it is. Anyway, there'll be spoilers ahead, so turn off if you don't want them, but otherwise, on with the countdown. And at number 5, episode 13 of season 2, The Protector of Concord Dawn. In this episode, a convoy of rebel ships is ambushed by Mandalorians, leading to Hera being severely injured. Kanan and Sabine set out to find out why the Mandalorians are attacking the rebellion, only to discover that they've allied with the Empire. While not a bad episode at all, it does suffer from a lack of the spark and charm that Rebels usually has, mainly because it pairs Kanan and Sabine, who are probably the most straight characters in the team. Without that, it just comes across as a little lackluster, relying on the Mandalorians being the big pull of the episode, and by this point they're just not that mysterious or interesting anymore, which leads to it being placed at number 5 of our list. Number 4, episode 8 of season 2, Blood Sisters. In this episode, Sabine faces off against an old bounty hunting comrade in a struggle for the data stored in a rebel droid. Introducing Ketsu and convincing her to aid the rebellion, the story is interesting, but there's also a massive pacing issue at the beginning, where the characters approach passenger after passenger disembarking from a transport to locate the courier of the data, before eventually realising that it's actually a gonk droid carried as cargo. This scene swallows about 10% of the episode runtime before even the titles roll. In episodes as short as these, that's a sin which lands it at number 4. At number 3, Season 4, Episode 4, In the Name of the Rebellion, Part 2. Continuing a story with Ezra and Sabine reluctantly working with Saw Gerrera, the rebels find themselves rescuing indentured workers unknowingly on their way to the construction of the Death Star, as well as a kyber crystal on its way from Jeddah. Although connecting this series to the movie Rogue One, the portrayal of Saw Gerrera is badly matched to his portrayal there, and he comes across less of a great rebel leader who has lost sight of the line between right and wrong, and more of a stroppy teenager who must have it done his way, landing this episode at number 3 on the list. Number 2, episode 6 of the first season, Breaking Ranks. This episode cuts straight to the action with Ezra already operating inside the Imperial Academy. But unfortunately, this left us wondering if we'd missed the more interesting part of the episode, where he sneaks in and inserts himself as a student. Combat scenes later in the episode also focus on the pilots, ignoring the action outside to the detriment of the episode. Both of these factors, combined with it being very reminiscent to the Clone Wars story arc with Obi-Wan operating undercover, even down to the same combat cube environment, left us putting it on the list at number 2. And at number 1 of our list, episode 11 of season 2, Legacy. In a series where Ezra's parents inspired revolution, and his motivation in working with rebels is to find and free them, killing them off screen is a sin. In a slow-moving and flairily clumsily handled episode, it seems as if the writers remembered that Ezra had a continuing storyline, but couldn't think of what to do with it, so they just ended his search for his parents in this disgraceful fashion. However, even in the episode we list as the worst episode of Rebels, the scene with the rebel fleet escaping from the Imperial bombardment of Garal is brilliant, with the ships lifting from docking bays across the city and fleeing through the blockade which blackens the sky above. However, the fact that this desperate struggle is given less screen time than Ezra's search for his parents is jarring, and leads to this episode topping our list. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what we're doing at all. Look after yourselves, and we'll catch you later. Bye.